Morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Morning.
Hi,
Good.
Logesh.
Hi, Gabriel. How are you?
Okay, it's Friday, sure, okay. Fellow colleagues and friends, please switch on your camera. Thank you. All right, we'll be starting very soon. Just a little bit of a request. Please switch on your cameras, guys. It's nicer to speak to human beings than just a blank piece of a name. Zana? Hi, Dr. Tan, morning.
Mr. Gabriel, morning to you, morning. Very good
Hey,
morning to you.
yep. Guys, please switch on your cameras. Thank you. Hi, Agnes, morning. Hi. Okay. I think the others should be moving around a little bit, but I would request uh your help to switch on the cameras. That would be much nicer, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm going to start on today's session. Today, we are going to talk about accreditation of prior experiential learning. You can see my screen, kan? Okay.
Can.
Yeah, very good. And today we're going to talk in regards to the role of an advisor, assessor, and moderator. However, before I touch on what an assessor, advisor, and moderator is, I will also touch about what APEL is in general and why APEL is such a critical importance in today's academic environment. Now, if I would start a little bit here by giving a little bit of a preview. For many of you, you know that the MQF document, Malaysian Qualifications Framework 2.0, last year there was a slight revision, okay, version 2. Now, in that revision, the government, in the way MQA with the government, stressed on certain changes that needed to be looked into in regards to students' graduation and policy. One key element is basically on the matter on SDG, all right, strategic developmental goals, where you will see there are 17 of them. So going forward, all new programs need to have this SDG. I think you all heard about that already, right now. Very good. Second thing is on value-based education, where they wanted the graduates in Malaysia to be more holistic, not only in the knowledge part, but also in elements pertaining to value like ethics and so on. And third thing, ladies and gentlemen, is this. The government wanted to emphasize and to stress on and to encourage lifelong learning. Okay, lifelong learning and the opportunity for everybody to learn. So that was something that was very, very critical. So there were these three key areas that the government wanted to emphasize on. Okay, so in today's session, we are going to talk about APEL, what APEL is, and how is APEL directly impacted or influenced our decision as a teaching organization, teaching and learning organization. Okay, so first of all, I think it is important for us to understand what APEL is. So if you look into the definition over here, APEL, APEL stands for Accreditation of Prior Experiential Learning. So if you look into that sentence and you break it down into its key areas, you will find that the first part, which is accreditation, is basically to recognize. And what do you recognize? You recognize a person's prior experiential learning, meaning the knowledge that they have gained prior to coming into your organization. Now, they did not say what type of knowledge. They did not say. They did not say it must be a degree. They did not say it must be a master's. They just said prior experiential learning. Okay, so it's to recognize knowledge that was gained by an individual before they come in. Okay, so that is what APEL is. So if you take my definition in face value, you will find you will ask the first question. Gabe, when you talk about prior learning, that means learning can be anything, right? Yes, you are correct. Learning can come in all dimensions. Currently, you are in the process of learning. And what are you learning? You're learning about APEL, right? And at the end of the day, I'm not going to give you a degree or master's. Or I'm not going to give you a certificate, but you are learning. Many of us learn through things such as like YouTube, Google, speaking to our friends, and the most traditional element, which is reading. We acquire material, we read those material based on our interests. Okay, for some of you who like computers, you will buy books, you will buy magazines, and you will read about computers. For some of you who like the culinary arts, you may buy recipe books and you try. You may watch YouTube videos and you try. And at the end of the day, you gain knowledge. However, this knowledge will not give you a formal certificate, but you have gained knowledge. And that is what prior experiential learning is. So when you look at APEL, APEL in a broad sense recognizes all of this knowledge that you have attained in numerous different areas. And by doing so, by recognizing this, it gives the learner or that individual a certain stature. All right, that means I can now attain something. Now, why is this so important? That would be the next key thing that we are going to talk about. Why is this so important? One general element on its importance is because of the possibility of individuals who have, in a way, graduated many years ago, but did not have the ability or the possibility to continue their studies due to commitments. It is not uncommon for individuals to only attain an SPM or an STPM or maybe just a diploma and started working 20, 25 years ago. And then after that, no chance to continue studying. Why? Commitments of family and commitments on the job. And this person only has a diploma. However, in today's environment, he is already 45 years old and is already a middle manager or maybe a little bit more than a middle manager in the company. So this person now requires a qualification. So in the traditional sense, in Malaysia, with that diploma alone, you cannot do a master's. You need to do a degree because that is what the framework actually tells us. It is progressional. From a level 4 diploma, you can't jump to a level 7 master's. You need to go through at least from 4 to 5 to 6. So this individual will need to do a degree, then do a master's. As you all know, doing a degree will be 3 years, and that is full time. Taking into consideration this person is already working, is going to be part-time, and that will be 4 years. There are not many individuals who is already working who can commit 4 years or 5 years to get the degree and subsequently another 3 years to get their master's, and that is already 8 years. Okay, now the government understands this, and the government wants to encourage people to continue their formal education. That is why they came up with APEL. APEL is to recognize these individuals based on their current experiential learning that they have attained, and from there, give them numerous pathways into higher degree programs. Okay, so in today's session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what APEL is, the numerous types of APEL, how the assessment is going to take place, how APEL is run here in UOW Malaysia, and I'm going to touch about the role of the advisor, assessor, and moderator. And for me to continue to reiterate, ladies and gentlemen, please switch on your cameras. All right. Once you are at your desk, some of you may be traveling into office at the moment, but once you reach your desk, please switch on your cameras. That is one of my requests. All right. Respect is both ways. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, so when we talk about APEL, basically there are numerous kind of APELs, but I'm going to touch about two key ones that is the most popular. All right, the most popular. We have APEL A and APEL C. Okay, APEL A and APEL C. All right. So when we talk about APEL A and APEL C, I'm going to explain to you all a little bit here. Now, let's say a person who has a diploma, and this person wants to do a master's. Under Malaysian regulation, you cannot. Okay, so this person needs to apply what you call APEL A, assess. Assess means to enter. All right, so this person will go through the APEL A process. Now, the APEL A process can only be done by certain institutions and MQA. We, as UOW Malaysia, we cannot do APEL A. Please take note, we cannot do APEL A. We are not an APEL A center. So if there's any student, I do get a lot of inquiries over here about APEL because it comes out that we are an APEL center. So the market doesn't understand that there are numerous types of APEL. So they call and say, sir, I have an SPM. I've been working many years. Now I am a supervisor in a hotel. I am 30 years old. I want to do my degree. Can or not? So, tak boleh lah. Betul kan? SPM, tak boleh buat degree. So, this person needs to go through an APEL, and it's APEL A. So, my suggest I will explain to that person, then that I will channel that person to MQA website. MQA is official. MQA. They will apply through MQA, they will do their assessment, and then finally they will get their sijil cert that this person can do a tahap 6. Tahap 6 means degree. All right. Now, the process of this, I don't want to go through because we are not the center, and this is done by MQA itself. Okay. So this is APEL A. Many of you may get calls or during your education fair, sometimes students ask you this question. I got SPM only. I work many years. Can I do degree? Can I do masters? So this is how you answer them lah. We are not an APEL A center. You need to apply to MQA, or there are certain institution memang they can do APEL A because they have applied for it. Understand? Okay. So some of you may ask, how do we know whether they can enter? That one is normal entry requirements, right? Now, so for degree, you need a diploma. Betul? Okay. So if he doesn't have a diploma, he has anything less than a diploma, he needs to apply through APEL A. Okay, guys, understand? So that is what APEL A is. Are we a center? Kita boleh buat ke tak? Tak boleh ya? Tak boleh. Tak boleh. This one MQA buat. MQA buat. Okay, or certain institutions. Open University boleh buat. I think there are certain institutions that actually has applied the license for that. We are an APEL C center. You can see there, APEL C institution base. We are an APEL C center. APEL C we can do. However, please take note. Dengar ni, this one penting. UOW Malaysia as the whole umbrella, kita ada 4 institution. Understand? Betul kan? We have University of Wollongong, Malaysia. We have University of Wollongong, Malaysia. University UOW Malaysia, University College, Penang. We have 2 colleges. So total we have 4 kan? Please take note, APEL C is only valid for 1 institution, which is University of Wollongong, Malaysia, the Glen Marie University. So fellow friends, I know Dr. Tan, you are from Penang. Okay, you are Penang. So if a student asks you about APEL C, sir, I heard UOW Malaysia is the APEL C center. Can I apply for APEL C? You must say this. APEL C is only valid in University of Wollongong, Malaysia, campus in Glen Marie, because Penang is not a center. Okay, So even here in Glenmarie, under my college, if some student ask me, sir, can I apply for APEL-C? I tell them, I'm sorry, cannot, because this APEL-C is only valid for UOW Malaysia, University of Wollongong Malaysia, which is our university. You may ask why, Gabe, we have 4 institutions. Yes, the reason is because access or a license to run APEL-C, it is by institution. Faham, ah? So when you got 4 institutions, we only got license for 1. Satu sahaja. The other 3, we tak ada. It doesn't say you get 1, all 4 you kena. No, it's by individual. So we only got for the university. Okay? Now, so what is APEL-C? Here is where I will go in a little bit more detail as we go along. My main emphasis will be on APEL-C. So before I go on, any questions about APEL-A first or not? Any question? Ada apa pertanyaan? Ken, boleh? Thumbs up? Boleh ya? So far okay lah?
Gabriel,
Okay.
let me check with you. If let's say the Penang one, they want to
Mhm.
go and apply for APEL. So they mean in this case, the student need to study in KL, or can they just register and so-called, is the APEL online or physical?
Okay. The APEL, we are, as I said, only APEL-C, right?
Uh-huh.
Must study and apply and register in Selangor.
Correct.
Must
But
study in our campus.
they cannot say do online or what cannot?
No, APEL is not a online. APEL-C is not an online thing. It is a process. Later I will explain, but it is only valid for any program under University of Wollongong, Malaysia.
Okay.
Only the university. The university college and the 2 colleges tak ada.
Okay, understand. Thank you. Thank
No
you.
problem. So, as I said, we are going through, this is a little bit more detailed. We got A, C, and also we got Q, but I don't want to touch so much about Q lah. Q is something, it's called qualification. That is APEL-Q, all right? Not to confuse you all, that's why I do not want to touch so much about that, okay? So I'll go here. Now, as I said earlier on, the main reason for this emphasis on the need for APEL it was also because of the Malaysian Education Blueprint 2015 to 2025 that emphasized on number 3 over there, which is a nation of lifelong learners. Lifelong learning. So when you talk about lifelong learning, one key aspect over here is the ability for individuals who have left formal education a long time to be able to come back to formal education. All right. So this is very important. Now, if you follow our traditional MQF levels, then it is very sequential, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and it actually deters a lot of people from studying. All right, long term. So, I mean, if I only have a diploma and now I'm 50 years old and I want to do my master's, by regulation, I need to do my degree. And as I said earlier on, many of us would not have that time to actually stress on doing that degree. So because of that, I will say, no lah, I don't want to do. See? So it deters people from doing that. So with APEL, the recognition of it, you can do your master's after that, then it actually encourages people to continue their education. So this is what the government wanted to emphasize on. They wanted to, in a way, encourage people to continue studying. Okay. So as you can see over here, this is our MQF, Malaysia's Qualifications Framework. All of you should know this by heart already. So we have the MQF level, tahap 1 hingga tahap 8. And as you can see in that, there are the various sectors over there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 diploma, then 5 advanced, 6 degree, 7 masters, and 8 PhD. This is fixed in stone in Malaysia. Fixed cannot change one. And for them, it's very straightforward. Dari 4, you want to do, you cannot jump to 7. You must do 6 first. Diploma can do 6, then after that you do 7. Okay. So if let's say with a diploma you want to do masters, tak boleh. You must do a degree first. All right. So unless you go through the APEL-A, as what was said earlier on. Okay. So APEL covers all levels of this. See, APEL all, 8 to 1. So how do we assess, or how do we then define what is experiential or prior learning? There are 3 types of prior learning that we can recognize. All right, 3 types. The first one is called formal learning. Formal learning, as what the sentence states over there, is a very straightforward process. Formal learning is when you complete a diploma, and then you already got a diploma, and now you want to do a degree. Your formal learning is that diploma. These are called formal qualification. So in Malaysia, its context, formal learning will be SPM, STPM, foundation, diploma, degree. These are called formal learnings that follow the MQF level, formal learning. And in Malaysia, very straightforward. If you finish your diploma and you want to do your degree, the government allows for 50% credit transfer from diploma to degree. First 30% C's and above, the final 20% B's and above. So this is called formal learning progression. All of us will know that right now, because we have been doing credit transfer for students and so on. Okay, so that's called formal learning. Informal learning. Now, informal learning, as you can see here, is another type of learning. Refers to the knowledge and skills acquired by the applicant based on his or her self-effort. It is usually incidental or unintentional. Sources of informal learning are work and life experiences, as well as other activities such as reading, community work, hobbies, etc. When we talk about informal learning, it is something that we do on our own interests that at the end of the day give us knowledge. For example, if I like cooking, I love to cook. Okay. So, however, I am not a chef, but I love to cook. So I go on to YouTube, I watch the videos, I try. I buy recipe books. I talk to my friends. I speak to my colleagues about cooking. And from there, give me a second. I need to reply Shankar on something first. Pause. 2 minutes. Sorry, guys. I'm back. This is due to the external audit. They're telling me what time is the closing and so on. You know lah. Selangor campus today got audit. All right. Okay. So as I was saying about what informal learning is, it is by interest. It is by interest. It is by our own wanting. Okay. So as I was saying, if I love to cook, what I will do is I will do all of those things. All right. However, at the end of the day, I can bake well, I can cook, but I got no certificate. All right. So I am competent based on my own experience. Now, ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, many of you are doing things not because you want a certificate, but because you enjoy it. Some of us like sewing. Some of us like painting. Some of us like to do gardening, for example. And all of this is based on our interests. And because it is our interest, what we put effort in gaining those knowledge. Okay? And that is called informal learning. You get this, guys? Okay? Now, do you get certificate from MQA? No. But you have the knowledge. Where is the knowledge? Here, in your mind, in your experience. Some of us travel a lot. When we travel, we see things. That is also informal learning. Okay? Paham, guys? Any questions on that? Okay? Now, and then the third type of experiential learning is called non-formal learning. Non-formal, non-formal. Now, this refers to learning that is intentional, which may be conducted in a structured and organized environment. This form of learning may not necessarily lead to a formal certificate. So, it is intentional. Example, I signed up for a 2-day course about artificial intelligence. I sign up. I go there, I learn, I pay money. I just want the knowledge. I will get a cert, but that cert is not under MQA. It is not a diploma, nor is it a degree. Bukan. It is just a certificate of attendance. Okay? But because I'm interested, I join. Okay? So this is called non-formal. Other examples of non-formal learning is this. Currently, all of you here, I hope you are here. I can see quite many names here. You have signed up for a course about understanding about APEL conducted by me. You will not get a cert after this, but it is your own initiative. All right. This is intentional. You purposely sign up and you attended at 9 a.m. So this is intentional. All right. So this is called non-formal learning. Okay. So please take note. I need to recap over here. Number one is called formal learning. It is learning that is formal with a certificate that follows a structure like SPM, STPM, O-levels, A-levels, certificate, diploma, degree, master's, PhD. These are called formal. Because if I ask anybody, if I ask Agnes, very easy. Agnes, for a diploma, what is the minimum credit amount we need? Diploma. So diploma for in Malaysia, generally, how many credits do we need? What do you think? Come, you should know this, right? Zana?
Diploma 90.
90, betul. Diploma is 90. Malaysia's MQF, diploma 90. Degree?
120.
Degree
Very
120.
good, Dr. Tan. 120. So this is already fixed. Certificate tahap 3?
60.
Betul. Masters?
40.
Betul. See? It's by law in Malaysia's regulation. PhD? Quick, trick question.
We don't have.
Very
Depends.
good. PhD, no credit value.
No credit.
PhD, no credit value. Dia, itu trick question lah. In Malaysia regular. But doctorate in business got credit value. That one different. Okay? So, that is what is called formal learning. Then, recap, informal learning is self-effort. Okay? Informal learning is self-effort based on your my own interest. Photography lah, computer lah, this, that, and so on. And non-formal learning is structured. I sign myself up, but got no cert one. Or it is not an MQA thing. Okay? Guys, understand? Okay, any questions so far? Good. Now, so these are the 3 types of learnings that we can recognize. Okay? So, now we are going to talk about APEL-C. So what does APEL-C do? APEL-C allows for students to enter the institution. After they join in, the student is already in our institution, but they would like to get credit transfer for certain of the subjects or courses based on this, informal and non-formal, based on this lah. Okay? So I give you an example. This one is easier for me to give you an example. Okay? I am a diploma holder in hotel and catering. I did my studies 5 years ago. All right? Diploma 5 years ago in the year 2000. After graduating from my diploma, I went to work in a hotel, Shangri-La, Kuala Lumpur. And now I am the assistant manager of front office in Shangri-La, Kuala Lumpur. Okay? So I need to do my degree. So I come over to UOW. I ask the hotel school, I want to do my degree. So first thing, hotel school will say that, oh, you're a diploma holder. So they can do credit transfer from diploma to degree. Correct, right? Normal lah. Diploma to degree, credit transfer. So they will do matching, then they will do credit transfer. Then, because UOW is a APEL C center, I can apply for APEL C. Then I will tell UOW. When I was working as assistant front office manager in Shangri-La, I do a lot on hiring of staff. Hiring of staff, recruitment of staff, training of staff, and so on. And then I see in my degree course, in year 2, there's this course called Human Resource Management. Okay, so I want to apply for APEL C for that. Okay, why am I applying for APEL C? Because in my job in the last 5 years as an assistant manager in front office in Shangri-La, I've been doing human resource work. You get me, guys? So basically, I apply for APEL C for that subject or that course. I will go through a process, and then the school will evaluate me and to find out whether I am eligible for application, and they will give me an assessment to make sure that my knowledge meets the learning outcome of the course. If I meet all of that, then I will be awarded the credit transfer. So I don't need to do human resources. If I fail the assessment, then I need to pick up human resources subject. That is APEL C. You get it? It is C stands for credit transfer. Now you may ask, hey, Gabe, why? Why want to do this? Because the student who apply through APEL C will save time. You do less one subject, you save time. I can apply for more subjects. The more subjects I apply to, the more I can get. The maximum, later we will see there, is 30%. Okay? So, apply for credit transfer for APEL C. Who? Us. What is assessment principle for APEL C? Student competency versus CLO. Student competency, student need to demonstrate that their ability and knowledge on their prior learning is the same or higher than the course learning outcome. Okay, so it's human resources course learning outcome. My experience working in a hotel, my knowledge is more than this. I apply for credit transfer. Then I can get credit transfer. How much credit can I apply for? 30%, my friends. 30%. So, if a degree is 120 credits, guys, you listen, then formal, I got diploma, and I get maximum 30 credits. So I already got 36 credits off. And because of my working experience, I apply for APEL, I can get maximum 30%. Another 36 credits off. It means I only do 58 credits for my degree. You get it, guys? So automatically, I now am enthusiastic. I want to get my degree because I save so much time. I save so much time. That is the kebaikan for APEL. Okay? Now, let's say my diploma I did long time ago already. Okay? And I don't get credit transfer from diploma to degree. Nothing. And I apply for APEL. At least I can get a maximum of 36 credits. Maximum. Will I get all 36 credits? Maybe not. Maybe I apply. The most I can get is 16 or 18. But it's better than nothing. Okay? So that is what APEL C is. Any questions, guys? Any questions first before I go on? Okay? Now, have we done this? Yes, we have. For some of you who remembered, previously we had Prem. Remember that DJ? Dulu kita that Mix FM ke Best Mix FM Mix kan? One of the FMs lah. Okay. Now, a very popular DJ. He joined us under SCCA. All right. And he did his degree. But because of his experience as a DJ and event organizer, he applied for APEL C. And after applying for APEL C, his total degree is 120 credits minus 36 credits. He only did 84 credits, okay, to attain his degree. And let me tell you this, it is testament. During our audit last year, we had an APEL audit. When the people look at his portfolio, say, wow, this guy very good, oh, Prem, you know, audit mark, check files and so on. And now they have approached Prem to be the face of APEL. Just last month or 2 months, they wrote formally to us. They say, can we approach your student? Then Hazim, which is the admin for APEL, wrote to Prem, asked him, is he okay? He is okay. Then now they are working. We let MQA work with Prem, the DJ. Okay, so basically, this is how it is. Why? Because this gentleman, Prem, he couldn't continue. The situation when he was younger did not allow him to do the degree. He needed to work. Never did degree. Now got opportunity. Now rich man. So got time, got money. But he is a full-time working. So he went through APEL C. Okay. Beautiful. A very good case study. Okay. Of what APEL is all about. And he's so happy because you can minus 30% of the credits. Any questions, guys? Can? Paham, Okay. So this is what APEL C is. So when you talk about credit transfer, how much can you give? As I explained to you, formal learning from diploma to degree, I'm talking about diploma to degree as an example, is 50%. So diploma to degree is 50%. Maximum. C grade and above is 30, B grade and above is 20. And non-formal and informal APEL C is 30%. But it is not 50 campur 30. Total is 60. You can get 60% only. And that is already very good, guys. Very, very good already. Okay. So a person who needs to do a degree of 120 credits, if they get full formal learning and non-formal learning, minus 60%, they only do 48%, 48 credits of the degree. 48 credits only, guys. And you know, since you all run courses, 48 credits dalam 2 tahun, less than 2 tahun boleh habis kan? Less than 2 tahun boleh habis. Because 1 year, not more than 50 credits, but normally around 40 credits. And then maybe 1 year and a half, can finish the degree full time lah. If the timetable fits lah, of course lah. If the timetable fits lah, but can. So that is the beauty of it. All right, that is the kebaikan and the beauty that makes people interested in going through APEL C. Now we have one case. I think if business school will know, Adrian is handling one student applying for APEL C. This is a degree student. And Christabel, previously when we were talking about that master student, I think eventually he didn't join us. There was one student already communicated us, say wanted to join us, want to do APEL and so on, eventually didn't join us. It's okay. But the one in business school, the degree student, that one is quite serious. Adrian is handling it. Okay. So implementation of policy. How do we implement FLC? How do we implement? There are certain key elements. We have the general policy, the award of APEL of credit, and the implementation process. So APEL is open to all Malaysian and international students. That means all students. Okay, they don't care whether you're Malaysian or you're international. All students can apply for APEL C. All right, registered with us. They must be registered with us. That's why earlier Dr. Tan was asking, if the student apply in Penang, can they do APEL C in UG and transfer that? Cannot. No such thing. They only can apply for APEL C in courses under University of Wollongong, Malaysia. Okay, the one where Prof. Hugh is the Vice Chancellor. Okay, so nursing cannot. All right, anything under my college also cannot. Very important. Now, so it is regardless of mode of entry. Students can come in the formal way or through APEL, no problem. Okay, now APEL C prior to experiential learning, not formal and informal for the purpose of credit award. Okay, so at the end of the day, when student gets their APEL C, they get credit transfer. They get credit transfer. Okay, so now guys, I give you one tip. Some of you thinking of doing your doctorate. But you say, Gabe, I don't want to do doctorate by research. I want to do coursework, doctorate by coursework. Okay? Well, with your experience, you go and sign up in one institution that has a doctorate in coursework and got FLC. You see now? Then you look into the course, you may apply. I'm not saying you will get lah. I'm not saying maybe after through the assessment you get or you don't get, I don't know. But you can apply, you can try. So that you can do less. There could be a possibility of doing less credits. Some of you may be even thinking of doing your masters. Same thing. All right. Yes, it's the same thing. So if you are joining masters, if you are joining your MBA in University of Wollongong, Malaysia, MBA is coursework, and you got working experience, you can apply for FLC. So maybe the number of courses that they have in the MBA, after subtracting 30%, you will do much less and you will pay less also. Okay, guys? But PhD by research, anything by research, tak boleh FLC. Anything by research cannot for FLC. Understand? By research tak boleh. Coursework only can. Okay? All areas and levels of MQF. So FLC is open to all areas and levels. All areas means all discipline. Levels means 1 hingga 8. Certificate hingga PhD. Now, postgraduate programs limited to only courses in programs conducted via coursework and mixed mode. All right? Coursework and mixed mode. And in mixed mode, only the part that is coursework can. The part that it is research cannot. Okay? Institutions intending to implement FLC, we approve from MQA, of course. So I've taken this exactly from MQA website to make sure that we use it word for word. So we can do FLC because we went through a very stringent process of evaluation and auditing. It was like exactly an MQA audit. They needed to audit processes and so on. This process that we did on the auditing was started in 2018. So we got our license in 2019. In 2024, after 5 years, they did first round of renewal and audit. So they came to do audit 2024, and now we are still a valid institution for another 5 years from 2024. And let me tell you, it helped a lot that our candidates, our prior candidates during the audit was one was a experienced chef. All right. One was the DJ, Prem, and another one was a person doing a master's. And this person has many years in the design and computing sector. So when they look at the portfolio, it was like, wow, this guy has so much experience. So it was very easy. Okay. That's why our renewal was painless. It was very straightforward. Okay. So award of credit. FLC programs approved by ministry and obtain at least a PA from MQA. So for the university over here, it is all programs because all our programs will have a minimum of a PA. PA stands for provisional accreditation. Okay, so all of us at least got all the programs in the university have PA. So FLC is credit transfer without grade and not credit exemption. Now, I think it's important for me to explain a little bit the difference between credit transfer and exemptions. Okay, these two terms on credit transfer and exemptions tend to be mixed up. Now, credit transfer means a person is recognized for what they have done, and the credit now is recognized in the new program. That is called credit transfer. So, let's say I have done a diploma and one subject A. 3 credits. When I do my degree, I can, for this particular course, is similar to the one in the year 1 degree, we are allowed 50% credit transfer. So credit transfer means as I am recognized for my prior achievement, I do not need to do subject A in the degree. That is credit transfer. Understand? Okay? And this one, all of the schools you all do. So I no need to explain much. You all know, right? Not diploma to degree, you all do, then do credit transfer and so on. The word exemption is different. You may be exempted from a particular course, but you need to pick up credit. You hear that? You may be exempted. Now, in our context in UOW Malaysia, we normally don't use this thing. But in other institutions, they may have. That is why it's important for us to understand. In some institution, they may say that, okay, you have already gone through this is your credit transfer, good. All right, this particular course, you are exempted because you have this, that, and so on. But the credit, that 3 credit, you still need to pick up that 3 credit. If no, you will not graduate with enough credit. You understand? Huh? For you to graduate, you need to have minimum requirement of credit amount. Okay, so they may exempt you. Okay, you no need to do marketing, tak apalah. Okay, but you need to pick up. And where do you pick up? You pick up through elective. You may pick up through elective. Now, the reason I'm just stressing a little bit on the terminologies of these 2 words. However, in Malaysia, sometimes operationally, the word exemption and credit transfer can be interswiped. And that is why it creates a lot of confusion. Okay, so the best for us to understand is we use the term credit transfer enough. That is what, because what we practice in UOW, credit transfer. Okay, credit transfer. Okay, exempted doesn't mean you get recognition of credit. All right, guys. Okay, so this is how it is. Okay, now courses that form part of a program structure under professional bodies may be considered for APEL, subject to acceptance by relevant professional bodies, and so on. That means, example, I'm used nursing as an example. Even though we know nursing cannot apply for APEL-C, yeah, please take note, because nursing is under the college and APEL-C is only valid for the university. Only for the university. But let's say the nursing program, the diploma in physiotherapy, is under the university. And students want to apply because students have done something or experience before. The institution, our nursing colleagues cannot give the final green light unless the nursing board say, okay. Messy. So, under the university, there is one school that normally don't encourage the students to take APEL-C. Can you all guess which school is that? Which school do you think is regulated stringently with a board?
Engineering?
Very good. It's engineering. So our engineering colleagues say, Gabe, we tanya engineering board is going to be worse. You know engineering board. Engineering board and nursing board sama punya, the tahap dia already, power punya. So that is why, that is it. So if it is engineering, actually the student has the right. Okay, because we are a APEL-C center, but the process is very stringent, very. Not only do the school need to look into documents, we need to get involved by the professional bodies to give green light on the acceptance of that. Because on these courses that have a big impact by the professional bodies, we need their green light. Okay, and who is responsible? Not MQA. We need to do all the work. And as evidence, bukti, we need to show evidence that this is being done. Okay, so if it is our engineering student, as we approach engineering board, all the correspondence needs to be there so that next time when they come and do audit, we can show, yes, we check with engineering board and engineering board say it is okay. We can go ahead. So it's not easy. Understand this, guys? Whereas the others, business school, no problem. SCCA, no problem. Hotel school, no problem. No problem. Okay? No issue at all. Okay? Computing, also no problem. So, award of credit through APEL-C cannot be transferred automatically to another program. A person signs up in Bachelor of Business, applies for APEL-C for 2 courses, 2 subjects, and they got it. Now he wants to transfer to Bachelor in Computing. No guarantee that these 2 courses will be transferred over. There's no such thing as guaranteed transfer. Okay? Unless the same course in both the programs have at least 80% of the learning outcome that are similar. The LO that are similar. If not, cannot. Okay? Award of credit through APEL-C equivalent to the credit value of the course applied for. There is no partial credit. I can tell you this is an exact case that we got. There was students who approached us the last time applying for APEL-C. After looking at the table 4 of the course, 4 credit, business course, something to do with accounting or something, I can't remember. He looked, he said, sir, this one I can. This learning outcome I cannot. So out of the 4 CLO, he said that 3 is okay, 1 tak boleh. So can I apply for 3 credits out of the 4 credits? Tak boleh. You apply for the whole course. You cannot apply for partial after looking at the syllabus. Okay, understand? Huh? It is the whole. You may laugh, but it has happened before. Okay, credits awarded for the course is applicable to the specific course applied for. Credits are not automatically applied to prerequisite. Finance 1, Finance 2. Finance 1 is the prerequisite to Finance 2. Student apply for APEL-C for Finance 2. Pass. Credit transfer. That doesn't mean automatically they get Finance 1 also. Finance 1, they still need to apply if they want. So a student can get APEL-C credit transfer for a higher course there and still need to do the lower course. All right? So this is what it means. This is how the government put the regulation. So this is, we have to follow. Okay. Separate assessment for each course. Credit award cannot be granted on a block basis. Important. Especially accounting. Accounting, I know some of you who are teaching accounting, we used to use the Frank Wood book 1 and 2 and so on, you know, accounting. It means if a particular candidate is applying for APEL-C for accounting 1 and accounting 2, even though both of them are accounting, assessment process organization needs to be separate. It cannot be done together. There is no such thing as doing together. You need to do separate. You need to do paperwork assessment for accounting 1. Then you need to do paperwork assessment for accounting 2. It's separate. Even though both of them, you can give one long exam to settle everything, but cannot. It needs to be separated. Okay? APEL-C for all courses except project or dissertation. Student cannot apply APEL-C for final year project or anything to do with dissertation. Cannot. All right. It is only coursework based that has clear CLOs. Okay. Now, executive diploma, I don't need to touch because we don't do it over here. Okay. So far, any question? Faham tak? Boleh? Boleh? Boleh. Okay, very good. Now, so implementation process, we very transparent, equitable, and evidence-based. How do we give students credit transfer based on prior learning? And we cannot take word of mouth. Student cannot say, sir, I know. No such thing. Example, student applying APEL-C for pastry. Pastry, making cakes and so on. Student can talk to you 1 hour, 2 hours about how good this person is, how good he is, but it has no value. Why? For a student to prove to you that he can bake, what must you see? The actual product, the process itself. So this is what it means. It's evidence-based. Evidence-based. So if applying for something like pastry for hospitality school, then the assessment will need to represent the learning outcome. The learning outcome is the ability to do bread, this, that. So you need to make sure students demonstrate all of those things. Only can you award this person APEL-C. If no, cannot. So IELTS, no value. The only place that IELTS got value, that means know how to talk, is if the course is called presentation skill. The particular subject is called communication and presentation skill. And the learning outcome is the ability to speak in public, maybe, example, I'm just pulling from the sky, and also writing a good communication. All right, the learning outcome, able to communicate in verbal and also written manner. So when you do an assessment, it's written there, verbal and written. So they must do presentation and they must do written essay lah. So they need to demonstrate the learning outcome before we can award the credit that particular course itself. Okay. Now, student who apply for APEL-C before registering for the relevant course, so student must apply before they register for the course. They cannot register for the course this semester. I register for human resources. As I go along, then say I want to apply for APEL-C. Cannot. You need to apply before. You need to apply before. So that is why students who want to apply for APEL-C, normally in the first year or even the first semester that they go in, they would already start thinking, this is what I want to apply for. And the subject that they want to apply for could be something in the third year or maybe in the second year, but they can do it now. No problem. Okay. Now, courses awarded with APEL-C, it will appear on the transcript as CT APEL. So, I believe you have seen your students' transcript, kan? So, if they are coming in with credit transfer, it is written CTA, or not CT, I think it's CT, kan? Credit transfer. For APEL, you will see CTA. So, it's to show that the student, this credit is from APEL. Okay. Now, not taken into account the calculation of CGPA because it's a credit transfer. We don't count under GPA or CGPA. Credits counted towards the total credit required for graduation. And at the end of the day, for any student who goes through the APEL route, we will give a Malaysian qualification statement, MQS. Now, a little bit on history. Some 15 to 16 years ago, the government wanted to implement the MQS for all graduating students. The MQS is actually like a leaving cert. You know, remember last time your secondary school, as we leave, we got transcript and we got one leaving cert. You know, when you leave the institution, this person, and so on. 15 years ago, the government wanted to implement in Malaysia, but all the private institutions membantah. Actually, all the institutions membantah, not in private. So much work because you need to give each student one MQS. Okay, so the government say tak payahlah. Okay lah. Digalakkan. I like the word digalakkan. Means encouraged. However, if you are under APEL, because this is a government program, no choice. We have to give. So any student that goes through APEL, even 1 or 2 credit transfer, we will need to give a MQS. Who gives? The school gives. The school is the one that will prepare with a template that we have, an APEL center, and it will be signed off by Mr. Shankar, who is the registrar or the DVC administration. He will sign off inside that to verify. Okay, it's a leaving cert. Okay, something that I do not know whether schools still practice, secondary schools, whether they still practice or not. But during my time, the last time, it was still widely used. Students who fail APEL-C assessment for the course applied will have to complete the course through the usual process. You fail APEL-C, you need to do in the normal system itself. You need to sign up for courses, and we are to keep all records. Okay. So far, any questions, guys? Faham? Boleh ya? Okay. Since it's already 1 hour, I want to give you all a 10-minute break. Please take a 10-minute break. It is actually, I'll give you a little bit more. Now it's 9:59. Come back at 10:10. Okay? Come at 10:10. Go have a drink and so on. Then we will continue. It will not be long. Don't worry. It's written until 1. No, it's definitely not. All right? It's Friday. Okay? Okay, guys, it is 10:10. Oh, 10:10. Today is also the 10:10. All right, that's nice. Okay. So we are going to continue, and we have already spoken on what APEL is, the various ones that are more directly related to us, APEL A and APEL C, and then we also look into the general the general understanding of policies, what is the difference between formal, informal, and non-formal kind of learning. So the next stage here will be on the process and APEL instrument. Okay, what is the process and how is it being implemented over here in UOW? Now, the first thing we need to understand here is that there are charges. It's not free, got charge. So how much is this? Application for each course, some of you call it subject or course, is 200 ringgit. So a student want to apply for APEL after coming consultation. Consultation is free. Consultation is free. They will talk, we will advise and this until the student say that, okay, I want, and then he goes through the process and is accepted, then we will charge 200. Okay. Now, this 200 will also cover the assessment that is being given to him. Okay. Then at the end, if he passes APEL, the credit transfer process is 500 ringgit. So this process of the whole APEL will be 700 if everything goes through. So a student can apply for APEL. After apply already, fail the exam, fail the assessment, gagal, cannot prove that they are competent. So no need to pay 500 lah, that 200 only lah. Okay, a student can pay the 200, the 200, and after that pass and say, I want to get credit transfer, that will be the 500 that will be charged to them. Okay, understand? Now, why is there a charge? Must have charge lah. There must always be an investment from the student. Nothing is free. If it's free, everybody want to apply for every single thing. Okay, so there is. And this is also advised by MQA. All right, in a way that they want that the student put effort and is not just applying for the sake of applying. That is why there's this charge over there. Okay, faham? Now, this is for per course, per subject. If I'm applying for 5, so it will be 200, 200, 200, 200, 200 lah. So total be 1,000. Okay, but it may not be paid at the same time because one semester you may apply for 2, then the following time you may apply for 1, and then and so on. So that is how it goes. All right. Now, so how before application, now you see here, application is 200, but before application, we have this thing called pre-application. This one is free. Kita buat our service to the student. So first thing what happen is when student knows about APEL, they will come to the APEL center. APEL center is here in Teaching and Learning Center. I'm the APEL coordinator. Hazim is the administrator. So it's either myself or Hazim at the moment who does the briefing on APEL. So we will tell the student what is it all about, so on, and whatnot. So the student will understand. Sometimes students tak faham. They think it is apply terus dapat. There's no such thing as apply terus dapat. There is a process. So after they understand clearly, then we will give them, say, you understand? Understand. Then we will then get them to speak to an advisor. Now, who is this advisor? The advisor is a person from the school. So if this student is from School of Business doing degree, so normally we will get the PL. Okay, we will speak to Prof. Sotesh, and she will normally suggest a person that will be the advisor for this particular student. Normally, it is the PL. Why? Because the PL would know about the courses in the degree program. Okay, so this person will now speak to the student. Say, okay, you are interested in APEL. You say you got experience in human resources. Okay, so the person, there are forms to fill, which is fixed form from APEL Center. And then we will give the table 4 to the student, the syllabus to the student. Then the student will see, wow, this is human resources. Oh, this one I know, this one I know, this. Oh, maybe this one I don't know. So after seeing the table 4, the student may decide to say that actually my knowledge may not be enough. Then they pull back. Thank you very much. case closed. If the student already very senior, working many years, and I say, all of this I know, then it will go through this, and still under the pre-application, the advisor will assess the student in the first level. They will write an essay, a 500-word essay on why am I suitable to apply for APEL, and what are the evidence that I have for me to apply for this particular course. Once everything is been submitted, the assessor will then read everything and say that, okay, you can apply. See? So the assessor carry a lot of power, no, because this is the subject expert. Okay, you can apply. Then only the application starts. Okay, this is where the RM200 will start to pay. Alright, understand? So the process macam ni. Then we will go through here. It is the process of filling up forms, telling what is the assessment, bila assessment, and so on. Okay? So the first stage, free advice, consultation. Make sure student faham. Dia betul faham, dia boleh. Then the second stage is where they will pay, and then they will then start going through the process of assessment. Any questions? Okay. So let me tell you guys, this stage we go through very often. Many students not very sure, they come and see us. So we explain, it's called pre-application. And kebanyakan of the student tarik balik after we explain to them. Because they never knew they need to do exam. They never knew they need to do assessment. They thought apply one paper straight away, get credit transfer. No such thing. All right. Then after, oh, like that. Okay. All right. Now, how do we assess students in whether they achieve CLO, course learning outcome? There are two methods over here. It is or. N means you can do test and portfolio, or you can do test or portfolio. I will explain. Now, so the two methods is, one is called challenge test. The other one is called portfolio. Challenge test is like anything we get students to demonstrate. That is called challenge test. I do an exam, it's called challenge test. I do a presentation, it is a challenge test. I do what do you call that? A verbal presentation, or I drew some drawing in front of you, is called challenge test. Okay? In front. Portfolio is a demonstration of my work over a period of time. There are certain things cannot have challenge tests. Tak boleh. Why? Because it is like design. Okay? Design, logo, this and that. It is a long-term process. I want to show you what I have done. So I will show you my portfolio. Portfolio can be even things such as like clients writing to me and say, well done. The work that I do for Intel, the work that I do for different companies, this is called a portfolio. All right. So this is what it is. So depending on suitability of the course content. So if I'm going to say, for example, pastry, we are doing an evaluation on pastry, is kitchen work. Because it is kitchen work, the learning outcome is very clear. Student must be able to demonstrate ability to bake a cake, to bake bread, make sure the kitchen is clean. Okay? That is the LO, let's say. So which one? Challenge test atau portfolio? What do you think? Come, guys. Nak cepat habis? Jawab. Which one? Come on, guys. Kitchen work. Ini fail kan nanti, tak recognize hours kan nanti susah. So, mana? Challenge test maybe. No maybe. Yes or no? Stand your ground. Stand your ground. Yeah, challenge test. Memanglah challenge test. It is challenge test. Must be challenge test lah. Okay, because it is in the kitchen. Betul kan? You want to demonstrate ability to do a gateau. You want to demonstrate the ability to do a particular item. You must prove depan diorang. Tunjuk. So that is called challenge test. Now, next. Accounting. Student say he has worked in the big 5 for many, many years. I want to apply for APEL C for accounting 1 and 2. Accounting, and you know accounting 1 and 2 dia memang debit credit, management accounting, operate apa tu after 1 minute financial accounting, you know. So which one will be better, challenge test atau portfolio test on the CLO for accounting 1 and 2? Mana? Accounting. I want to demonstrate my ability in balance sheet. Because accounting 1 balance sheet mah, right not? Profit and loss balance sheet. So yang mana ni? Challenge test atau portfolio? Which is the best method to assess their achievement of learning outcome? Ini kita punya colleague business school punya sini. Tak boleh. Portfolio tak boleh loh guys. Challenge test. Betul. It's challenge test. To demonstrate, because the learning outcome, it is more on challenge test. Okay. Now, if it is, let's say, this example, if we are talking about design, ability to design, all right, long-term work, okay, then that one will be more portfolio. Okay. However, the decision still comes down to the advisor. The advisor is the one that will advise, but through consultation with the head of school. Okay, so we have to make sure that the assessment method, the instrument is the most accurate. Okay, now even in challenge tests, there can be a mix of written test campur presentation. Written test campur presentation pun boleh. So it doesn't mean we only do one challenge test. We can do a few challenge tests. It can be a sit down, 3 hours. First part is exam, 2 hours. After that, there is a verbal presentation. Macam defense lah. So the reason why this is so important is because we need to make sure we choose the correct instrument that the student will be able to evaluate the student's learning outcome, that they have achieved the learning outcome. That is why it is so important. If you choose the wrong instrument, then your assessment and your method will totally be out, and then the result will not be accurate. It is like you want to hammer a nail. We will use a hammer. We will use a hammer to kotok the nail to go in the kayu. Now, I can also use a mouse. I can kotok the nail with the mouse, but it's not effective. The mouse will break, will spoil, but the nail will slowly go in, but it's not effective. So it's called using the wrong tool. When you use the wrong tool, the outcome will not be accurate. So it's the same thing about the instrument here. You all will decide which is the best method to use to ensure the best outcome of the learning outcome of the student. Okay. Now, basic principles of assessment. What we are looking at here is we are assessing students' learning to whether they can prove that they achieve at least 50% of the CLO. So dia macam ni. Every one of your course got CLO, right? Let's take a course that got 4 CLO. If the student, first CLO achieve 90%, second one 90%, third one 90%, fourth one 48%, this student will also fail. You need to pass all the CLO. CLO 4, 48 upon 100, gagal. Even though the rest is 90, 90, 90, but CLO 4 is 48, totally everything gagal. It is not average, it is individual CLO. Because students need to demonstrate achievement or competency of each CLO, course learning outcome. Faham ni? Okay, so when you evaluate the student, the assessment is written in such a way, or the assessment is chosen to ensure they can demonstrate all 4 or all 3 course learning outcomes. So the flow macam ni, student, learner undertakes self-assessment exercise. Okay, eligible, yes, go on to the next one. Learner submit APEL C application form and fee, bayar. Then dia orang buat assessment. it can be challenge test atau portfolio and or. Lepas itu mark assessment. If pass, endorsed by Academic Board Senate, credit award notification to learner. Senang saja macam tu. But take note, every assessment method need to go through the same moderation process as our current exam. Must be the same. So there is even assessment must have two sets. Set A, set B. Okay? Then they have moderation form and so on. And it will be presented in the school assessment board. Lepas tu presented in the Senate. Because it is credit bearing. Ada credit must go through Senate. Faham? Must go through Senate. Now, siapa yang present to the Senate? APEL Center yang present. You all will mark already. The marks given to us, Hazim will key in. Kita yang present to the Senate. APEL Center would like to present so and so student for APEL courses. They have passed. Macam tu saja. Okay. Now, evidence need to be kept to ensure that if any times people do audit, kita ada lah dokumen itu to tunjuk that this student have achieved this and the trail of evidence that it is done. Now, if you look at it, sini eligible? No. No. Advisor cakap ini tak boleh lah budak ni. Memang tak boleh. Then, advisor has the right to tell the student, yeah, no. It is the advisor, I'm telling you, no. Pak, straight away, notification to learner, sayonara, case closed. Okay, because some student think that they can, but the advisor say no means no. Okay, it's their right. Advisor punya right. Advisor is the expert, is the program leader. If they already say the students, whatever that they have, whatever prior learning is tak cukup, memang tak cukup. Okay? Now, if the student gagal, let's say challenge test, after that gagal, they can appeal. Appeal is the same as how they appeal for our normal exam. Alright, exam department, bayar duit, appeal mark. Senang. If the first time mark, gagal already. Okay? Now, portfolio also you can appeal. However, normally portfolio, because you read portfolio and presentation on the portfolio, students normally don't appeal lah. But we have no case for gagal lah. We got no case. Because normally, after this process, they have gone through already, they are able to demonstrate. If not, we will already sieve them out or filter them out at the earlier stages. Okay? Can? Okay? Now, student registration. So basically, this flow is as I explained. This is the write-up of the flow that I explained over here. Okay, so that is the flow lah. Understand? Any question? Okay, so as I said, some of you nak buat your masters, you guys or you want to do your doctorate, choose one organization that has APEL C, you can apply. Because many of you got many years of teaching experience. Betul? You got teaching experience, go and apply lah. Then you may be able to get credit transfer. Save you a lot of time and money. Can the failed student apply to another center? Agnes, tak boleh. Sebab APEL C can only be applied in the course that student is applying for. Student is already a student here. It's already a student. This is a current student that only can apply for APEL C. New student belum sign up cannot apply for APEL C. You need to be a current student. You need to sign up already. As a full-time student, then only you can apply for APEL C. If the student fail APEL C here and they say, I don't want to study in UOW anymore. I want to go to Taylor's. They can go to Taylor's and apply to sign up the program and apply for APEL C there. It's up to them. Okay? It's up to them. But they cannot, sir, you fail me here. I apply in Taylor's, then I bring the credit back. Cannot. Taylor's won't even take them because they need to sign up for the program first. They have to sign up for the program first. So now, then I'm going to come down to the part on the roles. What are the roles in this? So there are certain key roles that every individual will play. Now, advisor, assessor, and moderator is us. the first thing we're going to talk about is the learner. The learner, the word learner, or sometimes we call the thing student. The person who is applying for credit transfer based on prior experiential learning is our student. That is the term called learner. Under APEL, it's called learner. Okay. Now, who is the advisor? Advisor is UOWM appointed staff. Is normally the subject or the program expert. Normally, it is the PL. The PL will be the one who is the subject expert. They will know everything in the program. Okay, that particular maybe diploma punya PL, they will know everything. Degree punya PL, they will know everything. So it is the subject expert. So that's the advisor who will provide general advice to the learner with respect to FLC process and timeline involved as per flowchart. So the advisor is from the school, advise the student because they know about it. They talk to the student. All right, student, we are going to do a challenge test with you to evaluate when will the exam be, when will the test be, and so on. Okay, you communicate with the student. The assessor is the school appointed staff, the subject expert who will set the assessment and mark the learner's work. The advisor and the assessor are two separate people. Assessor is the one that is a subject expert. Okay, it is the subject expert. All right. So they are the assessor is the one that will come up with the exam question, will come up with the assessment method, and then will mark the paper. The moderator is the one that moderates what the assessor is doing. Okay, so if it is a written exam, then the moderator is the one that will moderate the question paper lah. Lepas tu will moderate the answer script. Itulah moderator. If it is a practical exam, the moderator will be the one in the kitchen with the assessor to make sure everything is done properly. Okay? Second lah. Dia macam second marker lah. Understand lah? Second marker. If it is a portfolio, because the portfolio will always come with an interview, the moderator will be the one that is sitting next to the assessor when the assessor is asking question. The moderator can also ask question, but the lead is the assessor. The lead is the assessor. Faham, ah? The main person is always the assessor. Okay. So your school, you will rotate lah. Why? If the student applying for finance, then the assessor must be a finance lecturer. You cannot give a marketing lecturer. Marketing lecturer tak tahu lah buat exam question. All right. So if the student applying for finance, the assessor will definitely be the finance lecturer. Moderator can be a neutral person. Okay. So after that, if it's applying for human resources, it's human resources. If it's marketing, it's a marketing lecturer. Macam itulah. Understand? Ah? Okay. Now, the whole process is very stringent. Your exam paper, once done already, it was, as I said, moderated and so on. It will also be kept and informed to exam department. During the exam, it is exactly the same as exam that we have in the auditorium. However, it doesn't need to follow exam schedule. It can be anytime. So normally what we have done is we have used my office here, DC1, DC2. Exam department will come and will put all the sticker, do not make noise, this is the exam going on, and then the student kat dalam buat exam. Satu saja. And Keen or her team will send a representative to sit inside for exam department. Okay? If practical exam, Keen and her team will also send somebody into the kitchen to see the whole process, to make sure it is done in the proper manner. No hanky-panky, it is done properly. Faham lah, guys? Okay? So, as I said, a lot of process. Not normal lah, because you are awarding credit, you know. This is credit. Credit is recognition that you are of that tahap. Okay? So, because of that, the process is very stringent. The process is very stringent. Okay? Any questions, guys? Boleh? Okay. So the advisor is a subject expert in the subject in which the learner is applying for credit. The main role of advisor is to provide advice to the learner with respect to FLC processes and timeline involved. Okay, so that's the advisor. The advisor will guide the learner on the self-assessment. So this is the process that the advisor will guide the student on their own the self-assessment exercise, which is the essay, and then on and off speak to the student to make sure that they are on track and they know their timeline and so on. Okay, that is the advisor. Okay, Dulu, I give an example. Dulu, when we were doing with SCCA, because there were two students that were, one was Prem, the other one was the DJ Prem, and the other one was a master student, Ivan. Okay, ex-staff also, but he was doing masters that time. The advisor was Zaki. Zaki was the advisor for both. Then the subject, the assessment, the assessor was different people. But Encik Zaki was the advisor of both of them. Okay. So the assessor is a subject expert in the subject in which the learner is applying for credit. The main role of the assessor is to design and create the appropriate assessment and marking rubric that will be used to assess the learner's achievement of the course learning outcome. The assessment question should be vetted by disciplined expert and approved by the head of department or head of school before it is released for assessment sitting. Exactly the same as our exam process. Exactly the same. You just follow our exam process dengan dia punya paperwork, pass. We need to follow. Okay? Then the assessor will mark the learner's answer for challenge test questions or evidences submitted in portfolio format and judge to what extent the learner's response have demonstrated that the learner has achieved each of the course learning outcome. Achieving at least 50% of each course learning outcome is the minimum standard required. Minimum 50%. Always remember that. Okay, so this is what the assessor does lah. The assessor needs to provide learner with criteria for assessment decision, opportunity to discuss assessment results, and appeal opportunities. If got. If pass, tak ada. If no, you can explain to the student, you did not manage to demonstrate your learning outcome for LO number 3. Tak ada. LO number 3, I'm very sorry. Okay, so you can explain to the student. Okay. And of course, we have the moderator. The moderator's role is that of a second marker who is a subject expert. So the moderator is the one that is in a way, he is there, but not much, not too vocal, doesn't say much. Is to make sure the standards are there, to make sure things are done properly, and so on. Okay, once the learner's response to challenges has been marked by the assessor, the moderator will second mark the learner's work and fill up the standard template second marking moderation form. Ada kan kita ada template, the second marker, they need to follow that. Same lah, mark already, then after that sign off. Okay, this will provide an independent marking of the learner's work to ensure the marking of the assessor is valid and reliable. Okay, because we know it doesn't happen, but we do not want the assessor to over give marks ke, under give marks ke, or so on, because this can impact students' learning. So the moderator is a very important role. Okay, now, yang penting, keep records. Why? Because every single record, during the audit of a renewal, they will want to see. They want to see every single record. So our last audit was last year. Let me tell you, every single practical test that we do, kita record. So I still remember our candidate was in the kitchen for 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. So we had the whole video to prove, bukti, it was actually done. So when the MQA people came and they say, oh, you all did practical test kan kat kitchen, ada. Are there any evidence? Ada video setengah jam ke apa? Mana ada setengah jam? Ada 4 jam. You go and watch yourself. So they do, wow, you record the whole thing. Every single one we record because we know they want to see evidence. They want to see evidence that this is actually done, actual product, and so on. Other than that, it is okay. The determinant on whether pass ke tak pass is our authority because, why guys? Senate will sign off. MQA trusts our Senate that the quality is there. You understand? MQA macam ni now. They say that the final say in the organization is always the Senate. If the Senate say pass, pass. But they want to see the evidence of flow. That betul lah dia buat lah. But the quality, Senate cakap pass, pass. The flow yang penting. So they wanted to see that. So basically, keep records. Evidence is key. Very, very important. Any questions, guys? Faham? So that's APEL C, yeah? C. Cacing. Yes, we did it. Yeah. So we have actually come to an end. Sudah achieve. Okay, so for some of my friends there who are, I hope you are there, Jason, Christina, because you haven't switched on your video cameras. Okay. Anyway, yes, we are here. Please, guys, please switch on your video cameras in the future. All right. As per, I am quite flexible in that. But if some other trainers, they actually make it a point to say that that is a keperluan. All right. Because it's nice to see all your beautiful and handsome faces. Okay. So, guys, as per APEL, there is that general key process over there. So what we have done today was we understood what is APEL, Accreditation or Prior Experiential Learning. We know there is A, there is C, there's also Q, qualification. However, I'm not touching those so much. I explained very much on A. Why? Because 90% of inquiries, guys, kat education fair, I'm telling you, you go education fair ke open day is APEL A. APEL A is the main question people ask. And are we an APEL A center? Yes or no? No, kita bukan, always remember that. So if you are in education fair or open day and somebody asks about APEL A, what will you suggest? MQA website. MQA APEL website. Okay? Then it is the best because that is the best so that we don't make any mistake. This is there. We are the APEL C center and only the university is. Okay? Then we understand that there is this thing called formal, non-formal, and informal qualification. Okay? So formal, very straightforward. Then we went, formal is between a diploma and a degree. After diploma, they get credit transfer. So what we see under APEL is non-formal and informal. Okay? And what we recognize is even these are not, there is no qualification, but we can recognize that. We can recognize non-formal and also informal to a maximum of 30%. 30%. Okay, so formal is 50%, non-formal and informal is 30% through APEL C process. But the total credit transfer of a student between a diploma and a degree, for example, if plus this is only 60%. You cannot give 80. Together, it is 60 only, maximum. But if normally for APEL alone, it is only 30%. APEL alone, it is 30%. And this is a lot, really, really a lot. Okay, so why is this? It is to open for people who have many years of working experience to come and recognize their working experience as part of credit transfer, if possible. Then we also understood that how do we do it? Students need to demonstrate their knowledge to CLO, course learning outcome. So if I am applying for human resources and human resources course has 4 CLO, I must make sure I pass all the CLO under APEL process. If I only pass 3 and 1 fail, I will then fail my APEL process and I will need to retake, not retake, I will need to take the whole course formally. So I need to sign up for the course and go back to class and so on. Understand? Okay. That is why it is advisable for students under APEL to do the process in from the first semester, even though it is a year 2 or year 3 course. Don't wait, because if you wait, suddenly your schedule can screw up one. Okay, you think that you apply for APEL for human resources, lepas tu you fail, and next semester human resource is not being offered. Mati. You faham kan? Because certain courses are not offered every semester. Mati. So the student need to wait. Lama. So that is how it is. And at the end of the day, the reason why this is been implemented is because we want to encourage students to study, especially those that work many years. There are 2 types of assessment method that we can use for APEL. Challenge test and or portfolio, depending on the discipline. Okay, depending on the discipline. Okay, and the 3 key roles in APEL by the school itself will be number 1, the advisor, Number 2, the assessor. Number 3, the moderator. The advisor is normally the PL of the course. Normally, I'm not saying must be, normally, depending on how the head of school determines and will appoint a person. This person will normally know about the whole program and advise the student about the particular course he is applying for. This would mean giving the student the syllabus and to explain what is it entail. This person will also speak to the student and determine whether the student is suitable to apply for APEL C. So this person is very important. It's called advisor. The assessor is the one that will set the assessment for the student for the APEL application. All right. And the process of setting assessment is exactly the same as how we set our exam paper. The moderator is the person that will moderate what the assessor has said, and finally double mark when the scripts are back from the student. Okay? And at the end of the day, the whole process goes through the Senate. That means this is validated by the highest academic level of the institution, and the credit transfer that is transferred to the student, it is then good and valid. So it is, ladies and gentlemen, I know very lengthy, but APEL is very much a process-related kind of requirement. Okay. At the moment, we don't have any students actively doing APEL application. There is one in the business school that Adrian is handling. Other than that, we have 3 to 4 cases prior that have already gone through our doors. So, ladies and gentlemen, that ends what APEL C is, and a bit of an explanation on the various roles that individuals play in their schools to ensure the successful flowing of APEL. Any questions before we say sayonara? Can boleh faham Okay. So we will continue this because we have been getting more requests and on what APEL is, especially from companies now. I'm getting companies, not individual, companies calling, say, hey, I heard you got APEL. If our group of junior technicians or technicians come over, can they apply for this and can they do for that? So that is why, as I told you, and we got quite a few requests for engineering one, but engineering susah sikit because we need to do the engineering board. So we are hoping for more companies that want to do business degrees, easier. Business degree, hospitality, senang sikit. Engineering susah. Okay. But we got, so companies are actually contacting us, especially around the Glen Marie area, asking for opportunities for their staff to study, attain qualification, however, at a shorter duration. Okay? All right, guys? Ken? Boleh? Any questions? Any questions that y'all would have? Ken? If you have any questions, you can even unmute yourself and just ask. You no need to type in also, Ken. Lebih senang. Okay. So if there are no questions, thank you very much. Have a very good weekend. Take care and stay safe. See you guys. Bye. Thank you.